Well, James, we have a brilliant new breakfast show here on TalkTV, hosted by Jeremy Kyle and Nicola Thorpe. It's called Talk Today, and this morning they had an amazing exclusive, an interview with one of these Blade Runners, these people who deliberately vandalise ULEZ cameras, and they make no apologies for that. They are, of course, breaking the law. We do not condone this, but their activities are interesting, to say the least. Let's have a little listen to the anonymous interviewee this morning on Talk Today.
We are the voice of the people. You experience the cheers, against ULEZ right there, and then you can see that we are reflecting the voice of the public. The members of society that have less disposable income are hit the hardest. We're not stopping until you stop. That's the.
Well, there you are. And I think that what we're talking about here, James, this is one of those situations where normally law-abiding citizens have reached breaking point and they are rebelling. And more law-abiding citizens are breaking the law. I see myself driving around London. You see quite a few cars and vans with sort of dishcloths over their number plates so that they can't be read by ULEZ cameras. Meanwhile, we've got the Blade Runners who are literally chopping them down. There's been something like 75,000 crimes committed against ULEZ cameras, ULEZ signs, and this is the people saying enough is enough. They cannot stand, they hate Mayor Sadiq Khan's ULEZ expansion scheme, which basically will charge people £12.50 just to drive down to their local shops to get behind the wheel of their car. And they're basically saying enough is enough, and this is tantamount to a people's uprising.
Yeah, I understand the concerns. It's a terrible policy. I think ULEZ is draconian, illiberal, and it's actually crass logic as well. I mean, if you want to do something about lowering pollution and temperatures in London, do what happens in Paris. Grow lots of trees. That's environmentally friendly, and long-term that provides a solution. ULEZ is not about providing the solution. It's about hitting those who are poorest the most. It's a terrible policy, and there's other versions of it around the country. I mean, I was reading the other day, for instance, the ULEZ equivalent in Glasgow is hammering the turnover of nightlife in Glasgow. You know, there's aspects of it that have been happening in Oxford where business leaders are concerned about it as well. So it's not just about taxing the poor predominantly, it's also having a profound impact on business communities as well. I think it's a terrible policy, and I do understand people's concern. And I think net zero generally, and this is connected into that, will be one of the major issues at the next election. I just don't think the public buy it. I think the majority of people in this country, to one degree or another, are environmentalists. We want to reduce pollution. We want a sort of cleaner planet. We want better things to grow. But we're not going to have something that's fundamentally a punishment on the people, and a punishment on people who can ill afford it. Yeah. I think it is one of the worst policies ever produced by government or local authorities. And I completely understand why more and more people are angered by this.
And the reasons for this policy people do not trust. Sadiq Khan insists it's purely for clean air, to get rid of pollution, to reduce carbon emissions. Well, in the outer London boroughs, which is where the ULEZ expansion scheme has been brought into effect, the air there was already very clean. It's pretty clean in central London now. Everybody knows that the real reason Sadiq Khan has extended his ULEZ scheme is he needs the money because his financially illiterate administration has driven London to the brink of bankruptcy. So he is basically getting cash out of motorists, and it's quite clear that motorists, not only motorists, everybody has had enough. Don't forget, it's not just the poor old pensioners who can no longer get down to Tesco's for their Friday shop. It is small businesses, hundreds of small businesses. Lots have already closed. Hundreds say they're going to have to close because of the ULEZ expansion scheme. This is a policy too far by the mayor, and we're learning that Susan Hall, the Tory mayoral candidate, is closing in on him fast. So I think Mr Mr Khan is ruining the day. He extended his ULEZ scheme, but you can see that video on the TalkTV website, and we'll be playing that throughout the day. A great exclusive for the new breakfast show on TalkTV.